Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Wednesday. It's IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge time again, round 4 at Road America. Tom is alongside me in the commentary box. How are you doing, Tom?
I'm very well, thank you, Mr. Salt. Looking forward to another action-packed IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge race.
Indeed. We were just saying off air, Thomas Petitjean, the, I guess, championship leader of this series, if we look at the sort of top split, did we decide whether he was in this or not? I think we're...
He's not. I've seen that he's actually connected to the service. I think he's actually keeping a watchful eye, because this is obviously the hour, this is the slot before we used them. The change in time has messed with our scheduling. So obviously he would normally be doing what was the 8:15, which is now the 9:15.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just scoping out the opposition.
Yeah, like you said, this now the 7:15 rather than the 8:15 due to the clocks changing. Certainly in the UK, I'm not sure. Does the rest of Europe do that as well? Not yet anyway. But yeah, 7:15 going forwards instead of 8:15 as we watch Simone Marcino go around the. Do we call this a carousel? Is this a carousel?
Carousel.
It is.
Seed number 1. He is the favourite. We have to put with his 7,890 iRating. Let's give a bit of love to the TCRs who put on an absolute show last week.
They did. Tom, just 1 second. Can you crank your mic up a little bit more?
I'll give you 2 of them. 2 clicks.
There we go. That's better. Yeah, perfect. Should be better for folks on stream watching. Yeah, Road America. Last week we were at Sonoma, which you don't often see. This a much more it's a much more popular track. So we had about 180 registered. So again, a track that's very popular. We watch Mateus Okochi. It's a good one. Head out the final corner to complete his what will be first qualifying lap, and it's a 2:20.5 for the time being in the TCRs, and a 2:17.3 in the GT4s is the time to beat, as the guys now head over the start finish in the TCRs. And Mateus has gone second. Marcus Eichhorn, that we recognise as well in TCR. Almeida from Brazil that we're watching, currently P1. We've seen Almeida before in this series. We know we've got Gonzaga as well,
his
in
teammate.
3rd position. Yeah, who else do we recognise from this? Again, they sort of, like you said earlier, and like we said, 8:15, the regular slot is now the 7:15. So Sven is there. Sven's back.
Covered Sven quite a lot last week. He had some really good racing. Sander, I believe we've covered a bit as well. Just as a quick time, you're looking at sort of into the 16s. So they're all probably going quicker on this second lap. And the pace difference is, about 4 seconds when everyone's up and running between the TCRs and the GT4. So don't expect to see any sort of traffic unless something's gone wrong.
4 seconds, certainly more than it was at Sonoma last week, which was actually quite even. We saw some of the kind of lightly damaged Porsches really in the mix with the TCRs, which gave us a lot of entertainment. But 4 seconds this week, so it should be easier for the Porsches to get past if they do get stuck behind them. But we've seen, I mean, it's now week 4 of this new car, the Porsche. We've seen some great racing. We've seen some, I don't know, not suspect racing, but we've certainly seen some guys lose it early on with the cold tyres. The TCRs always seem to be, well, they're always super close, aren't they, on track? An easy car, I guess, with a front wheel drive, but overtaking opportunities. Tom, into turn 1, do you think? The obvious one, and then obviously down to...
Turn 1, technically I think it's turn 5, but it's definitely turn 3 in my eyes. And potentially into Canada corner, which is the last sort of heavy braking.
Yeah, after the kink.
Yeah, here comes
there.
Almeida across the line. Does he improve? Yes! Provisional pole, 16.6. See, I've done my research.
You've done one race in this
already,
haven't you?
I have done a
What's
race.
the GT4 like through the kink in this? Because
big lift.
I imagine it's no fun. Yeah, I was going to say, I imagine it's not very fun.
Big lift, cold tyres. It just wants to understeer off into oblivion. So it's really, you just kind of turn in much earlier than you think, much earlier than you would GT3, GTE, and just hope it sticks, basically.
Is that a signature for this car, sort of turning in early to I guess,
Yeah.
you're almost expecting understeer, aren't you? So you turn in early to counter that.
That's what I find, and it's also, if you're in a corner that has any sort of braking, every single driver has gone into the pits. Oh, there we go.
I've just realised Gonzaga's gone P1. Just snatched it at the end. I don't think we've seen him start on P1. He's always up there. I think last week he didn't have a rear spoiler at the start of the race, so not the best race for him. But it's Gonzaga on pole and Almeida in second. Will in third, and then Jan in fourth. Corpy and Probst take fifth and sixth. Daniel Moof, again, certainly a regular in this series. Ala Nikula in eighth, and then Daniel Geiser and Jim Hertios in 10th. What was the TCRs? Michael Scholetta and Juan Parada take the front row from Mateus Oki and Reinhard Habel, Freitas and Eichhorn take 5th and 6th. Gilman 7th. Jarowski in 8th. John Brown takes 10th, and 9th is Oscar Jimenez. And that's the top 10s for both series. A long formation lap, Tom.
Long formation lap.
We had Sebring, I think, was the second week in this series, if I remember rightly. So that's another contender for longest formation lap on iRacing. But this one's got to be close. Yeah. Where's next week?
Snetterton, I think.
Snetterton, wow. I mean, fantastic track, but will we see 200 entries for that one? I'm not too sure.
No, I can guarantee you not. But, no, great track, but really looking forward to this one. So just because we do have time to kill, as I was saying about corners on the brake, under brakes, it's all about trying to get the rear actually sort of almost stepping out of line, and then using kind of the rear wheel drive to kind of turn you around the corner. Use the throttle to turn the car, because otherwise it will just keep ploughing on. And you'll see it. It was quite common in the race that I did. People flying off the kink.
Oh really? Yeah, that's what. I mean, yeah, I'm expecting that. I'm trying to think where else, because turn 1, turn 2, relatively straightforward. You always see a little bit of action down to what is turn 5. Do they call it turn 5?
It is turn 5. There is a tiny kink that counts as turn. Oh no, it's turn 4. Sorry. Yeah. It's turn 4. There's a tiny right kink as you go down, which no one even acknowledges as a corner, but the officials apparently do.
Yeah.
But yeah, because obviously the braking zones for these cars are massive, then there's always going to be action down into there. Yeah. The draft is pretty powerful, but it's easy to make a mistake and lose the draft, so something to watch out for there. A potentially out of position, you might say qualified 14th, is the seed number 1 car.
Indeed, yeah, but it's, I mean, again, we've only seen him.
Yeah.
Well, we've not seen him in this series, but he may have been practicing behind the scenes, done other races this week in this car. But yeah, seed number 1 down in 14th. Seed number 1 with almost 8,000 iRatings, Simone.
The dust on the circuit. Are you picking that up, Mr. Sol?
I am, yeah. Yeah, we are indeed.
And we'll flick back to, and as experience has shown us, leave a big gap, boys, because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you are right there. I mean, the TCR, I guess, technically a more forgiving car. I was gonna say easier car to drive, but certainly more forgiving, I'd say, with the front wheel drive, and that we've seen week in, week out. Some of the Porsches left on the grass, rejoining from all angles, and the TCR drivers having to deal with that. Hopefully, though, like you said, leave a massive gap. We know Michael Scholetta in P1, seed number 3. He's experienced. We've seen him in this in this series so far, so hopefully he'll do that. As they head out of the carousel. It's a Porsche safety car as well. Faster than these, I'd imagine. Well,
I
maybe
don't
not.
know. I don't know what team these guys are. They've obviously got a front row lockout, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, both Brazilian. Yeah, you like you say, both in the same livery, but it doesn't mention team, I don't think. But
No,
we can
had a look at both, but
maybe go on board with a I don't know, one of the suspension cams, so we can have a look on the left-hand side of someone or right-hand side, see if they creep in front. What's it say? Amica, I don't. skyexpo.com/.vr. Okay, yeah, who knows? Same livery though, so you've got to assume they're teammates. Hopefully they can get away cleanly. Hopefully they all can, in fact. 37 races in this, I think we counted. 35 or 37, I can't remember, but as we've been saying, full grids now that we've got 2 series taking part in this, or two car classes taking part in this series. As Gonzaga leads them out of the final corner, it's down to him to dictate when they go, and he's gone already, and his teammates caught sleeping a little bit, and he's lost second place to Sander Ville, who's now on the inside going into what will be turn 1 coming up. Gonzaga, lovely start from him. They should have a natural line, although actually Sanderwell, he's pulling it back, and he's going to be able to defend that inside line. And Sentowski as well. He's now in P3, and yeah, Almedia's dropping back to 4th. It's clean so far though. It looks like all the Porsches so far have got through turns 1 and 2 as they head down this straight to what is turn 4, the left-hander. The Audi's turn 1. Michael Scottler, something like that. He's still in P1 from Juan Parada. As we watch the Porsches head down to turn 4, heavy braking section. Are we going to see anyone losing it so far? The top few guys are through nicely. Slightly wide for a couple of them, but cleanly does it, Tom.
Unbelievable scenes here. Ooh, we've got the 3rd and 4th going side by side. Oh, that was close. Flash of the lights from Almeida. He wants to get on with it because he's been bumped down a few positions, but was caught a little bit sleeping. He's going to send it up. No, thought he was going to launch that down the inside. Still unbelievably clean.
Yeah, heavy on the brakes. Yuri Santos in chat. Sub Racing is the team that Almedia and Gonzaga are racing for. Sub Racing, apparently, SUB. Scuderia União Brazil.
Here we go to the kink.
Who's going to lose it? We're through. The top 3 are through, top 4. The rest of them, probably the top 10, are all got through there with relative ease, by the looks of it.
Everyone.
This is fantastic to see at this point. I mean, at this stage, we've usually lost a couple. Hopefully, commentator's curse won't strike. There's a car back there, the white one, getting a little bit rough around the edges, but Danny Korpi in P6 of Finland, heading into the final corner. Korpi, who's lost out on a position, but he's very much in the mix. Them top 4 cars just edging away.
Yeah, big break.
But that is a long line of cars over the start-finish to complete lap 1 of this 30-minute race. How are the Audi? I'm going to say how the Audis getting on, but to be honest, when you've got, I mean, look at the intervals. They're all red. That means they're all they're all pretty close, you could say.
Well, we'll check in now as they come down the front straight. Not a whole lot of change, it seems to be. Michael Schottler still leading the way.
There we go. I mean, we usually at this stage, or I don't know, it's still early doors, but yeah, we're watching a fantastic battle for the lead, effectively. Jan Senkowski in 3rd position, car number 2.
A seat in the house.
Yeah, he's got a great view watching. It's an interesting corner, that one as well, easy to lose it as well. As we see, yeah, I was going to say one of the cars stepping out a little bit there. Daniel Muth in 7th position. He's surely going to have a look on Corpy in 6th, just in front of him. Corpy goes defensive, and that's allowed.
Inside.
Yeah, we just saw a car creep in then. Well covered from Daniel Muth into the carousel. Endless corner. Front left tyre screaming, basically. And then out of there, and then you into the kink where you need a front left tyre, but it's already heated up. Here we go, lap 2 into the kink. Big lift, slightly wide, lovely stuff. 10th position, Alan Akula. Alan's under a lot of pressure by the looks of it though. We're side by side now, and it's seat number 1. Yeah. And that's, I mean, this is almost what we see week in, week out in the TCRs, let alone the GT4s.
Look at this train!
Unbelievable.
Sort yourself out, boys.
Are the front pack breaking away? Oh, that's a big hit, and he's come back onto Roy's.
That was Jim.
Huge
Jim had
hit.
Toygus. Off he went.
Did he get a tap, or did he just put a wheel on the...
I think it was they got a tap coming out of the...
yeah.
We're going to check him. There's so much going on. Side-by-side action. Audi's line astern. No real movers and shakers here.
Yeah, Audi's still in a long line going over the start-finish. And that's the Porsche of... who is that?
Muscle. That was Jim Hatoy.
Oh, that's Jim who had that huge contact. Actually, his car's looking all right, unbelievably. This is a battle for the lead. Gonzaga under pressure from Sentowski. Sentowski's actually to 2nd. We saw him in 3rd, but now he's under pressure on the left-hand side from...
Yep. They're all... Well, 5th is caught.
5th is in the mix as well.
Oh, that's 4th. That's...
Yeah, I was going to say that's wide, and he's now got the inside line.
Media's getting shoved out the way. That's Thibaut up to 4th. Who's the Danny Corpy's coming flying through?
Daniel Muth slightly dropped off the pace, but I mean, with these guys fighting, it shouldn't be too long until he's on the pack as well. Daniel Muth that we see regular in this. Gonzaga has now got some breathing
got
space.
That second...
Yeah, if you call it 1.1 seconds breathing space, but Vanderwell through the kink into 3rd position, and yeah, I guess I'm trying to think who the losers and gainers are at the moment. I guess we've got Almeida down in 5th, who was 2nd.
Yeah, so down 3 spots.
Yeah,
so he's the big loser so far. Still battling the whole way down the field. Yeah, Thibaut's stuck himself in there, but I don't know if he's there on sort of pace. He's just getting left behind a little bit already.
Let's have a look at the lap times now that we had Gonzaga out on his own with no pressure. I wonder if we can see a quicker lap time from him. We should be getting them shortly. There we go, 17.8, so 17.4 from Danny Corpy, 17.6 from Marceno. So there are some quick guys on track, and the quickest isn't the leader at this point. These guys are certainly battling hard, but clearly costing them time as well. The lap times in the 18s is allowing Gonzaga to, I was going to say get away, but it's actually still only that 2nd gap, so they're still doing a great job of battling and not necessarily losing Gonzaga. Gonzaga needs to capitalise on this. Have we seen Gonzaga win one of these yet, Tom, in the 4 weeks?
No, we've only seen Thomas Petitjean and then Sacha Gourlay won last week.
That's it, yeah. Because, wow,
boys,
Daniel Muth.
Aggressive. So Daniel's the 15 car, sorry.
That's Daniel, Daniel in 7th, and then it's Probst and Corpy, isn't it, that we just saw side by side.
And they're just lying astern.
Yeah,
in the TCRs.
I mean, we see, that's Mateus just going a little bit wide in P3. But yeah, this is our regular kind of showing, isn't it? The TCRs do this every week. It's often are very often a trainer. These guys. Mateus is dropping back a little bit though, actually, from them. Lead 2. Seed number 1 up to 8th. Started 14th. Danny Guy. Oh, I was going to say, is he going to chop the nose off? But they're through cleanly. Will Geyser have a look into this heavy? I mean, he's pushing him through. I'd be surprised if they both get through here. But it looks like they are sensible. And that's a little bit. Oh, they're both a little bit on the edge out of there. And he's flashing his Geyser. He's flashing seed number 1, who's already up a ton of places. Just sit back. Oh, I thought we were going to see. I thought we were going to see a car around them, but we didn't. Thankfully.
So this has been a bit more of a truer lap. So 16.6 for Gonzaga, 16.5 for Sentikowski. So top 3 showing a good bit of pace.
Yeah, 16.5. Wow, from Sentikowski. What were your lap times, Tom?
I think I did get into the Almeida.
Sorry.
Wide. I think I did get into the 16s. I think I got a 16.8 was my best race time.
So you'd have been up there?
I'd like to think so. I would have been in the mix.
I would have been similar to Steve Clay's. Unfortunately, if you look, Steve's had a crash. And I don't think Steve's with us. Is he? George Lewis and Ryan Parkins look like they're out. Are they still running? I can't see. Jim and Alan and Steve, they're all out. Unfortunately. Daniel Muth, P7. We've seen these guys for the last couple of laps battling pretty hard. And it's Danny Corpy and Props in front of him. Corpy, the number 5 car. And he's been putting Props under a lot of pressure. And we see Sven Dreyer, who's had a spin. Where is that? That's coming out. Yeah, that's. Oh, he's got on the grass and then it snapped on him.
Oh, wow. That's unforced error.
Yeah, just ran wide and got caught out. Down to 17th. Propst, Corpy and Muth go through the kink. And I was going to say, it's actually less than a second now, isn't it, from Gonzaga, Sentikowski. Interesting to see the lap times this time around. Sandoval going slightly wide there and catching the back end. But, I guess that's a signature of this car. If you do get that back end dancing, it's not necessarily that you've made a mistake. It's just you are fully on the edge.
You don't want it on corner exit, just because relatively there's not a lot of power in these cars. So you want to keep the momentum up, and every time that you're wiggling around, you ain't going forward as quickly as you can. But 16.8, 16.5. So again, Sentikowski is on the march. But Daniel Muth fairly pushing Thibaut Props along the track. Let's check in with our beloved TCR. We've got Miguel Freitas.
Miguel, that we've seen as well as a regular in this series, as well as Mateus in front of him. I always feel like Mateus just needs to get a new livery. It's quite boring, if I must say, is the one that he uses.
The standard blue, the
standard
ocean
blue livery. Yeah. I mean, to be fair though, we know him as the standard blue TCR on a Wednesday evening. That is Mateus. So
very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Marcel is out.
He's lost his wing mirror.
Is he going to get going again? Oh, that was for position, was it?
Oh, and new tyre model. You're not getting out of that.
No, it sucks you in and it's difficult to get out, and he hits the wall and spins. Now he's going to lose a ton of places. I wonder if he's pulling over to quit. Unfortunate for him. Danny Geyser in 9th into the carousel. Geyser following Marcino. Where is our...
We're going to flip forwards because
yeah.
Almeida is in hot pursuit, and you can see the top 2 as well are getting a little bit closer. So we'll keep an eye on the gaps all up and down the field for you. We'll do our best to cover every single bit of action that we can.
So the leaders, Sentowski, less than half a second now as they're coming up to complete the final corner of lap 6. And we're coming up to
slightly wide.
Yeah, you can see the overseer there, and he catches it nicely. I mean, certainly in the slipstream now. We are 0.3 going over the start-finish line in a second. There we go. What are the lap times? Considerably quicker than Gonzaga. It's often difficult to be the leader though, and it's, you know, he's the one that's choosing the braking points.
Punching the hole in the air.
Punching the hole in the air. Sentowski's obviously reacting to that, able to push as they go into turn 2 and out down the long straight. We have 0.2, so at the end of this straight, will we be side by side, or will Sentowski just wait? I mean, we've seen actually, you know, Gonzaga make a few mistakes, Tom, and it'd be great for him to take a win, but
he
a long way to go yet.
In the race that I covered, or that I was racing in. Yes, he's So he is known to, he's quick, lightning
very quick,
but he has struggled to put races together. So see how he can soak up the pressure without this turn that he actually crashed. Got on the grass and round she went. Well,
hopefully he's learnt from that, but he's under a lot of pressure now. Juan Parada is challenging Schottler into that sharp left-hander. Turn 4. Do you take a bit of apex there? Because I know it sort of drops away drastically, doesn't it? You can kind of bounce through there.
I try and... Oh, that's the grass.
It's Dom Toretto getting... getting sideways.
I try to get as close as I can without going through the dip.
Yeah.
That's what I aim for.
Daniel moved. That was on the edge through there. That was all the road available to him. Down.
So flicking back, this seems a little bit closer, and I love this where just see the inputs of the steering wheel.
Yeah.
And the car is always dancing. It's trying to step away from you. It's going left, right, left, right.
0.3. Yeah, I mean, I'll be surprised if we don't see these positions change. I do wonder if Gonzaga's got the pace to stay in front. It does look like Yannick just... I mean, he's closed the gap to this point already.
Sander with a 16.293.
16.2, wow. I mean, this is what Sandoval needs. The top two fighting, and Sandoval only 1.5 behind. As we see Gonzaga going defensive, which is... Meni's exit was a little bit compromised. As we now see, these are now side by side, but a move around the outside into turn 4 is often difficult to pull off.
Can he get the switch back?
Gonzaga
to the inside.
He's doing a good job so far.
And before you know it,
there he is.
It's the three-way battle, nearly four-way. And Danny Corpy's not far behind either, so as they keep going side by side. Just having a look back through the TCRs where we can, because I'm conscious that I do want to give people fair viewership. Miguel's got in front of Mateus.
Mateus
is launch this down the inside.
There's not much space, but he's found it. And he's typical touring car move. He's side by side, nothing wrong with that. Now he's gone defensive. See if he can keep that position, although that's a little bit of contact again. Mateus still manages to maintain that position in that blue TCR. Danny Corpy, P5, as we watch the leaders battling ahead. We just see them go through there. They're side by side. Can Jan Sentowski keep that inside line to complete the move? We've now got the lights flashing on Sandoval.
So Jan's got nicked through. Oh, Sulio's down the inside. Great opportunistic move.
Sulio's back on the march. Started second. But we do have a new leader this time around. Jan Sentowski takes P1. Gonzaga is now in that slipstream. Can Gonzaga keep his head and just play it cool? Still a long way to go. 12 minutes.
And now Danny Corpy's coming charging up to the back of them. There's a gap there. There is a gap there.
Pushes him slightly wide.
Pushing
Car's
each other.
Yeah.
Sanders giving Danny the slipstream. Although I think you're going to have Sulio who's going to send this if he can.
It's covered him off. He's late on the brakes. Will he get it stopped? He does. He's under pressure on the outside from Corpy. Corpy slots in behind. The leaders are also jostling for position as well. Gonzaga's not letting Sentowski get away. This is great stuff.
And so you got third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and now even seventh. Thibaut, who was up to fourth, he got shuttled down a little bit.
He just got all out of shape there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Wow.
Still there, still in striking,
He's still there.
Striking distance.
Clearly pushing, isn't it, to get on the back of this pack.
I think the only British driver, judging by the flags in the race.
Oh, yeah.
Give him a bit of love. As Luke shoves David Rodriguez off the track, and that gets Anthony up in position, who is the C24 car, so doing well for the strength of field, which I didn't mention, but that is 4.5k for the GT4s and 3.6 for the TCRs. So
4.5 was the same as last week, if I remember rightly. I think TCRs were there or thereabouts. We now see, coming into complete lap 9, Jan Sentowski still in the lead. I mean, it's 0.4 of a second, but I do feel like we've seen Sentowski's pace, and I do wonder whether we'll see this. I'm just trying to think whether we've seen Sentowski before in these weeks. I don't think we have.
I can't recall.
No, I know we've seen Gonzaga. Time of day in sim, Tom. Is it the morning, evening?
Evening.
20
to 7.
Okay.
So the sun going down. Road America.
Track temp 27 degrees, so ideal conditions.
Just as a little note that I've just picked up is Reinhard has got past one Parada for second place in the TCRs.
He has indeed. 1.3 seconds behind Schottler. Schottler probably doing enough, although Schottler a little bit slower that lap time round. Gabriel Roos, P6, side by side with Icon. Into turn 1, they go.
Round the outside. Good move, that man. Sadly,
Danny Geyser
has had a moment, it says. Doesn't look like he's had a...
Oh,
I cursed a replay. That's impressive.
Steady.
Goodness me. Got it back, points in the right direction. Easily done.
Yeah. Danny Geyser, I can't remember what position he was in when that happened, but he's certainly up there, wasn't he? Or
he was chasing Simone.
Yes, that's right. Let's have a look towards the front. We've still got, I mean, the top 7 cars are all highlighted in sort of red and amber, aren't they, on the interval board? So these guys, Danny Corby slipped back a little bit off Almedia. Almedia is in 4th position. We've got Sander Vell in 3rd position just in front of him as they head out of the final corner to complete lap 10. Not long left in this one. These races go quickly when you're watching them like we are.
It's one of those things that as soon as they start battling, it allows the group behind to catch up. So I think this top 4, as you saw right at the beginning of the race, they are the quickest out on track. Only by not a lot. Daniel Booth is putting a 16.3, which is nearly the fastest lap of the race that time round. But they just seem to edge away, but then as soon as a bit of battling happens, the team behind, or the group behind, catch up again. So there is racing up and down the field. Just for example, Anthony hot on the tail of Luke, with you've got Carsten Thiel. David Rodriguez and Sven Dreyer has managed to get himself back up.
That's
Sven
having a look.
Kind of barges him out the way, so he moves up a place.
So head down now to turn 4. Van der Vel, P3, doing a good job, although Almeida in 4th, right behind him.
Be on the brakes, get it all stopped. I'm trying to work out where Almeida is quicker. I'm really interested to see this long, never-ending carousel. Can he take more speed through the slightly out of shape, ever so slightly? From stand up through the kink, lift, get the car hooked up.
I wonder if it's just the slipstream, just in general, the tow.
Doesn't seem to see what it's like on the brakes.
Jan Sentowski at 0.7. I know that's hardly anything, but he's
colossal.
Slowly pulling away, isn't he? He's
making just a few little less errors, and every tenth matters. Get slightly further out of the draft. Jan is up 3 positions though, I think, isn't he? So he's
he is indeed. Gonzaga's down 1, Almeida's down 2, and Van der Vel started in 3rd and is 3rd. So biggest gainers, Marceno, we saw down in 14th, up 7 in 7th. Who else have we got? Van der Zande in 12th position is up 6, by the looks of it.
I think is Juan still? Juan is still in 3rd. Just dropped off the pace. I think he was doing really well at the beginning.
A bit surprising. It's almost the opposite to what we see most, where the TCRs have split up, and it's, you know, in this sense, not any fault of the GT4s, because they've, for the most part, had a very safe and we've not seen many of the track, have we?
This is the closest battle we've got in the TCRs, and it's for P6.
Is that Icon that we saw lose it?
Yeah.
Because he's got a ton of damage, but he's still in 7th, which is a bit strange. I don't know.
I think he maybe went out from sort of 4th. That's a little bit wide for Gabriel Roos. We're going to flick back to the Porsches. Gonzaga, he's hanging on. I mean, it shows the power of the draft and the power that Jan used it to catch up as well. I know he clawed him back from about 1.2, 1.3, but I still think you pick up the draft at that range.
I mean, we are how many laps left to complete this one, and then 2 more. Yeah,
I would say.
But the top, we got the top 6 separated by less than 3 seconds.
Not too shabby at all.
No, not over 30 minutes. This race incredibly close. Gonzaga we saw start in pole position, but he slipped back to 2nd, but it's been, for the most part so far, a solid race from him. Hopefully all these guys that we're watching are able to finish, as we did see. I think that was Corpy out on the grass back then, but hopefully got it saved. I think he did.
Yeah.
It was Danny, He's now under pressure from, who's that? Daniel Muth.
And we're going around the outside. That's a brave move, and there's not really the grip to do it in these cars, but that's kind of put them a little bit off the pace. Sander van der Velde just put in a 16.1 fastest lap of the race, and is right on the tail, back onto the tail of the pole sitter.
Gonzaga, 0.2 of a second with 2 minutes left. I didn't actually see the lap times last time around. Let's have a look. Yes, as it was a It was the quickest lap of the race last time, Ryan Bell looked at it, 16:10. Oh, 16:1, sorry.
Gap starting to sort of eke out in the middle of the pack. Again, checking in on the TCRs. Reinhard has stayed as close as he can to Michael. Michael hasn't really been touched though all race. That's as close a gap as you're going to see really in the TCRs. Miguel and Mateus are still going at it, but it would be a disservice to not follow these top 6 Porsche drivers who have really put on a clinic of, touch wood, clean racing up until now. As we head
should
towards
see,
the final
we should
lap.
see one more. I'm just looking at the time, 50 seconds. Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Is that lap traffic that's coming up as well?
I believe so.
Anyway, we are, yeah, you're right. We'll have one more lap to go after this. So we are coming up to white flag, and that's wide from Sentowski, taking a lot of exit there. Out of turn, I'm going to say, I don't know what the name of that corner, but it's the last corner. We know that.
Anthony has got past Luke. Up to P12. Good man. Good to see. Gonzaga under a bit more pressure than he is giving at the moment.
Although identical lap times, well, you could argue the 1/1000th of a second. But,
slightly wide. Sander was able to hold a closer line, so they're now in 2/10 away.
I guess the main opportunity for him, if he gets this right, is coming up down to turn 4.
This is it.
And he's on the power early. That back marker is well out of the way. Good man. Although, did that compromise his exit? The getting a little bit wide and a bit scruffy.
Just see him fighting the steering wheel. Couldn't get it on the power how he wanted.
Not this time. He's going to have to wait. He's got another opportunity coming up out of the carousel. Down to Canada corner. He does look the quicker of the two at this stage, doesn't he? Gonzaga, I mean, this will be, I think, his strongest finish. Again, quick guy. We see him in this series a lot.
For a 4.5 strength of field. I mean, the top 8 were in that shot there. This is the closest race we've had all season.
Yeah.
It's usually top 2 pulling away by miles, but this has been a cracking race, and here we go. Palms will be sweating, heart rates will be up. Through the kink for the final time. No real events to speak about.
0.4, surely just a little bit too much to consider trying to move. Sentowski's doing all he needs to do. The gap at 0.7, 0.8 should be enough. He's got a few more corners to go. 2 more corners, in fact. Heads into what is now the final corner. And all of these guys in formation. There's not a lot to separate them, but these guys, yeah, I mean, incredibly close in terms of pace. It's been a fantastic race. Jan Sentowski, up 3 positions, is going to take this victory from Gonzaga in second, down 1 position, but still a strong effort from him. And then Sander Vel in third. We're still watching the guys out on track, P14. Oh, wow, okay. That's...
Oh, it's been such a clean race, and then Carsten is round. Go on, get it. Give it a boot full of revs. Sven's had an incident with the wall.
Yeah, we saw Sven. I'm sure we saw Sven much higher up than that. I'm just having a look. Has Sven been in the pits as well? I'm not too sure, but Michael Schottler heading out of the last corner, and well, Reinhard Heibel did manage to close the gap on him, 0.5 now. But Michael doing enough to take the victory from Reinhard in second. Miguel Freitas takes third position, and then Juan Parada in fourth. Mateus I often feel Mateus is in fifth in a lot of these races. He seems to be up there, but it feels like his spot. I don't think we've seen him fully at the front challenging for this, but he's always in that top 5 or there or thereabouts. Gabriel Roos takes 6th position. Marcus Eichhorn in 7th, and John Brown. Is that Jonathan Matthew Brown that we saw end of last season? I think it is.
Yes, I think it is.
I think it is, yeah. Oh. Showboating. That was a fantastic race, Tom.
That was brilliant.
Like I said, more so from the GT4s than the Audis this week. So yeah, I mean it's the opposite of what we usually see, but not to say that the GT4s don't often, give us good racing, but not to that level where you've got the majority of the cars on track doing that.
That was the closest one that we've had all season.
It was.
Obviously, the big hitter that is, or the big hitters that are Sacha Gourlay and Thomas Petitjean weren't in the race. Hopefully, we'll see them next week because it's always good to have the cream of the crop racing. But that was a fantastic race. As I said, last lap, you could see the top 8 all together. No, really, really enjoyed that. It was, as we said during the broadcast, it was kind of role reversal of what we normally see of TCR action and
and as we see, I mean the top 6 guys all less than 3 seconds, but I don't know, that sounds a lot, 3 seconds, but not when you're considering 6 cars within that time. Season 2 schedule we're looking at Snetterton next week, and again a new time of 7:15 UK. After that, Suzuka. Which layout is that international racing course?
That's the full.
Okay.
The full shebang. So that'll be quite a long lap.
Yeah. Silverstone, the old circuit, 2011. After that, Mid-Ohio, Road Atlanta is week 9. Donington Park, I think, will be fantastic, as well as Interlagos and then Mount Panorama as well, week 12. That's going to be good. It's a good track list for this one. Hopefully next week, Snetterton, we get a good race out of that one. But it's a lesser known track, but it should be still good to watch.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Tom, is the software allowing us to look back on anything, or are we struggling?
It's not letting me show any results, which is why we brought up that.
Okay.
In terms of, I can try and find. I mean, what would you like?
Show us some crashes. We need crash.
We didn't have that many crashes.
No, I think if we did see any, we probably saw them in the moment or covered them. I know we saw a couple of replays, but I mean, to be honest, that was probably one of the cleanest races that we've seen. Where, I don't think there was any necessarily suspect moves, or we didn't see anyone getting out of shape on the brakes, etc. It was all good stuff, really.
I mean, this is sort of a bit of action that was occurring, whereas the top 4 were kind of making their break, and then they're going to start battling.
Yeah, we saw. So I mean, it was a solid race. Fingers crossed we get the same at Snetterton. I'm certainly interested to watch that one and see how the guys get on.
It's the curveball, isn't it?
Yeah, this track, obviously Road America, very well known to the majority on iRacing. I know it's a new car, but almost 200 registered for this seems to be. I mean, the good thing is as well, we're not seeing that figure necessarily drop.
No, it's been consistent, hasn't it?
Yeah,
around that 200 mark, which is great, and so hopefully people keep enjoying it. And we know that the BMW GT4 is coming as well, so that should add some more spice to the series as well. So hopefully.
I presume then we'll see a 60-car grid at that point in a 30-minute race. Is there anything like that on iRacing? 60 cars, I guess ILMS maybe, but
ILMS, isn't that 52? I think it's a really strange
like
number. So that would be great. I mean,
yeah.
It was good that iRacing, they listened to the community, because at the start of this season it was still 25, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they released a really quick update that increased the grid sizes up to what we have now. So that would be great if we could get even bigger size grids.
Yeah, for sure, and to have that other car in as well. But no news on when that BMW is coming. But we saw that it is in the works.
It's in the works, and they did say in 2020.
Okay. Okay.
So for season 3 or for season 4. So
Cool.
it's in the works. But no, what a race that I thoroughly enjoyed that, and a hats off and a bravo to all of the drivers, because that's probably the cleanest race that we've had all season, and that was absolutely fantastic. So good job.
I agree. Fantastic racing. Well, let's wrap up there, Tom. We will be back obviously next week at Snetterton at the same time, which is now 7:15, not 8:15. So we will drop a link in the iRacing forums. And as always, thank you for joining us. And also, if you like what you see, do drop us a subscribe on YouTube. And other than that, thanks again for watching. Hope everyone stays safe and stays well. And we will see you next week again at the new time of 7:15. Thanks, guys.